Hey, what's up everybody? Duck here. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys can hear me okay. So yeah, like normal, let's start out with Bitcoin. Basically, we've been following along with this harmonic, right? So let me get rid of that other stuff there for you. So currently what we have going on here is, we had our entry area, prices ran up, we've hit target 1, which was the C anchor point. We've hit target 1. Target 2 was the A, okay? You've hit target 2. Now you've proceeded to back test, and you did two things. You hit the square up area, and you are now back testing the previous C anchor point as support, okay? So ideally, this is good. If this holds, this should run the highs again, and we're gonna hit another target area, okay? So what we're looking for next is to layer out at this point up in this zone between the 1272 and the 1618 golden mean ratio. And look, we barely almost touched that 1272, and we touched it just a little bit, and we're heading to this 1618 golden mean ratio area. Let's make that like we'll make it green and we'll lighten it up. Okay, so basically we're aiming for this area between 61.5 and 63.125. okay, so that's the next major area of interest, when again, likely if you get it, you see a back test maybe of the 1272, which is this previous high, okay? So maybe we hold that and we try to run again. But ideally, this is what we're looking for. Current price of Bitcoin, time of stream 59,620. We are looking for 61 and 63K. So that move from this point would basically put you, let's see what we got here in the tank. You got another to the first area of interest, 3%, 1414 is 4.2, and 1618 5.8% move incoming at some point. Likely, this is either going to happen, being that we're on a 4-hour chart, this would likely happen either leading, running into the daily weekly close here in, like, I don't know, 3 hours or so, or we let the close happen, and then about an hour after the close they run the highs. But I would expect some volatility as the weekly is closing, okay? So that's just our current kind of low time frame area that we're watching. Again, if you had a stop loss down here, you would have been trailing, right? Stop up here. Now that you've created this range up here, you can now proceed to move this stop up here, 57.3. As we hold this and move back away from it, you could then, use this previous C 60K basically as your next kind of area to hold your stop. But for now, I would keep it down here, because you do still have this area that, I don't know, you squared it up, but you didn't, you know what I mean? So there's still a chance that something crazy happens there, and we need more steam. Maybe you need more steam, and you go X, geez, that was deep. You come up here, B, C, and then you get some kind of D right here, 886, like a bat or like a Gartley-ish. I don't know, maybe you even go down and you hit a butterfly type of thing, and you square up the bottom, right? So I don't know, we just got to be careful about that. But if you trail, even if you want, keep it up here, so in case this happens, you get stopped out. But I would imagine that this is going to run these highs next, okay? So again, those highs lie between, basically sweep this previous high, right? So that previous high is 61,500, and layer out between there and this top side, 63K. Something's gonna happen up in here. You're gonna see some fuckery again, okay? So all right, so I know you guys probably noticed on the stream, or on the intro to the stream, we were talking about talking about Bitcoin, but then also, position sizing and risk management. I see a lot of questions flying around about. Seems like some people maybe a little over positioned or over leveraged. And again, I don't know how more to say this other than to say it a lot, that harmonics and high leverage just aren't a mix. Okay, if you're a high leverage day trader and you're trying to follow our swing trades, I don't know. I don't think that's a recipe for success. I think that's more of a recipe for disaster. You're just playing with fire just because you feel like it. I don't know what else to say. Basically, overconfidence brings with it greed sometimes. And if you're so confident in my setups, because look how they play out, they do hit. But along this way, an over leveraged trader still could have got messed up a little bit here. So just I want you guys to try something just for a couple weeks. Just try to not over leverage. Just see if you've been using 25, 30, 40, 50x your entire trading career so far, and it's not working. Maybe you've identified a potential problem, and in order to mend that problem, you just adjust your leverage accordingly. So try for me for the next couple weeks to trade on 2 or 3x. On Bitcoin, maybe 4 or 5, but on altcoins, like 2, okay? So follow some swing trades on the harmonics at lower leverage. Follow the stop losses according to the harmonic with the X as you're entering, right? Entry, stop below X. And let's see how that works out for you. Basically, if that solves a lot of things for you, like stress levels down, you're sleeping better, you're not checking the chart 100 times an hour, your portfolio is increasing in size, not decreasing, you have more, I don't know, maybe you have more money available to get into more positions because everything's not stuck in an over leveraged position that's a little bit underwater. As we're posting more setups, you're like, dang it, I can't even participate because everything's tied up in one trade that I aped into. Try, instead of market entering, try limit entering on lower leverage and using a higher time frame. And let's see how that works out for you guys for the next couple weeks. I just want you to chime back in and say, whoa, that was it. That was some secret sauce right there. Or you're going to be like, nah, fuck that, 100x only. And some people are going to stick to their ways. It's hard to break old bad habits, right? But hopefully some of you are new and haven't developed such bad habits yet where we could still form good ones, right? Those of you that have those bad habits, it's harder to break them, but you have to just mentally do it. There's no other way around it. You have to get your mind right. If not, you're just going to continue to struggle. And you're probably already realizing that. So I'm trying to help you identify a potential problem here. And that's that you're basically self-sabotaging your own positions because you're over-leveraging and oversizing them, and you're not allowing them to play out the way some of the rest of us are in the group. And it's just killing you. And it's all self-sabotage. You're doing it to yourself. You're over-leveraging. You're aping in too heavy. Position. Okay, so let's talk about that. If you're aping in too heavy, what does that mean? That means, like, okay, so in a roundabout way here, what we're doing with trading, the reason you guys like it and the reason you find it so appealing is because, like Mark Douglas would say in Trading in the Zone, that this is a way for you to create creative independence, which is something that all humans desire, regardless if you know it or not. You each want to display your creativity in a different way, but in order to do that, you need to have the means in our kind of society and world, right? So if and when you could create the means out of trading to not only be able to just work from home or your computer, wherever you have internet access anywhere in the world, right, and make some trades in a 24/7 market like crypto that's worldwide, global market, right, never sleeps. So you can potentially just be living your best life as long as you're playing by the rules here, and you got to create the rules, nobody's going to do it for you. Again, that's why this is so, the allure to trading is there, because there are no rules. So in a society that's forcing rules upon you on a daily basis, this has created, you've found an arena that does not have rules, that you could just do whatever you want to an extent, right? As long as you have the liquidity for it, I guess. But you know, if you want to go 100x in right now at 60k for your whole stack, you can do it. Like, there are no rules. That's what I'm trying to tell you, right? But because of that, you can also completely wreck yourself, because that's not a smart thing to do. We just talked about proper leverage, proper position sizing. So aping in at 100x for your whole stack would be the opposite of that, right? That is not what you should be doing. But you can, because there are no rules, again, like I said. So what you need to do is figure out a way to create rules for yourself, which means you need to be disciplined in the amount you enter into a position, and you need to be disciplined in the amount of leverage that you use. So again, for example, this is like an exchange. We're looking at Binance right here, Bitcoin to USD Tether on the 4-hour on Binance. So Binance is the key thing we're looking at here. And you think of Binance, especially if you're really new to trading, and even crypto, whatever. And this applies to traditionals as well. It's just crypto is even more crazy because the leverage is way higher, and it's 24/7. So this is like literally I don't know. It's just trading on steroids, right? Everything is just more intense here. Can be, at least, if you allow it to. But if you govern it, you know, you could also create discipline here. So anyways, Binance being our keyword here again is our exchange. Well, think of an exchange as a casino, okay? So let's jump in our spaceship, in our rocket ship, and let's fly from wherever you're currently at, and let's go to Vegas real quick, okay? So we just landed in Vegas. You know, now we're making our way from the airport to our hotel. You know, we're staying at wherever, it doesn't matter, MGM. And inside of our hotel, casino, we have a casino floor, right? So after getting settled, we decide that we're gonna go, you know, try our luck on the casino floor. So that's like walking into Binance, right? You walked into the MGM. Well, when you do that, you don't just, I mean, you can on certain table games, you could just put fiat down, but typically what most people do when they go into a casino is you take your fiat and you go up to the cage, or you get to the table and you have the dealer exchange, you know, your fiat for MGM chips, right? Or in this case, Binance, you would exchange your whatever, your Bitcoins for BNB or whatever shitcoin you're trading, right? Just think of that. You first exchanged your fiat for some kind of crypto, and then you've sent that crypto to Binance. Well, so now walking into MGM, you've exchanged your fiat currency for chips. That's just like shitcoins, okay? So now you go find yourself a place to trade or a table game to play, right? Same thing. So on this exchange known as Binance, there's plenty of different ways you could apply your position, right? You could be doing a spot, you could be doing margin, you could be doing futures, you could be doing options, you could be doing, I don't know, some kind of stupid battle shit. You could just be staking, you could be, there's plenty of different ways, just like in the casino, where you guys can lay down your money, right? Which one do you feel like you have an edge, right? You walk by a certain table, maybe you just have a certain vibe, I don't know, whatever it was in the casino that allowed you to create your edge. Something was in your mind when you were on that flight, or, you know, on your ride to the hotel, right? You were like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play blackjack, right? Because I know that if I do, you know, something a certain way, maybe I could create a small edge. So again, with trading, we're looking for our edge. So our edge is, you know, kind of like how we trade, you know, our harmonics, our patterns, you know, our divergences, you know, we're looking for SR flips, you know, all those various things. That's our edge. Well, your edge as a gambler in the casino might be you count cards good in blackjack or some, I don't know, it doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. But all that matters is, let's take a trip over to the MGM, okay? Let's go take a trip. Let's make our way out here. and we've made our way to the MGM. Okay, guys? So what's going to happen now is you're going to sit down at the blackjack table and you exchange your $300 in USD fiat for $300 in chips, because you have to play in chips typically on most of these casinos. So anyways, you sit down, and the first thing that happens to you is the dealer looks over at you and he says to all the participants, right, all the traders. But in trading, nobody tells you this, right? You have to tell yourself it. So, but at the casino, the dealer says, okay, place your bets, right? So you have all this money in chips. You have 1 purple chip, you have 2 50s in orange, and you have 4 green chips, right? So you have $300. So what you have options here. You could take this entire stack of chips, right? You could take this entire stack and you could move the whole thing all in if you wanted to, right? But most people don't do that the second they walk in the door, right? Doesn't that seem reckless, right? So the first time you walk into Binance or sign into Binance, why would you take your entire stack and put it on the first shitcoin you see? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't that sound reckless? It is reckless, okay? That's why we don't do that. Regardless of how much you felt about that shitcoin or how good you felt about this one hand of blackjack, you still it would be, out of all the degens in that casino that are gambling addicts, they still don't even do that shit. So why would you? You know what I mean? You gotta think logically here. So what would a logical person do? They would take a portion of their stack and they would place a bet, okay, $25. So what did you just do? You decided your risk management, okay? You said, of my $300 starting stack, I'm willing to risk $25 on this trade or on this hand of blackjack, okay? So if this trade goes in your favor, that's great. You're increasing your portfolio, your stack, right? Your starting amount of chips, whatever you want to call it. You can increase it if you win the hand or if you complete a winning trade, right? But if you lose the hand or if you get liquidated or stopped out, whatever happens, hopefully not liquidated, hopefully it just stopped. But either way, if you lose the trade or you lose the hand, dealer hits blackjack, you've limited your loss to just $25, okay? Goes to the dealer. Yeah, that sucks. You lost one. It happens, right? But as long as you had proper, position sizing, it was just a percentage of your stack that you lost. You still have plenty of chips to still fight back, okay? This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You haven't lost the marathon. You just, got off to a slower start. Maybe you like to pace yourself and you just wanted to get a feel for the table. I don't know, whatever it is. It just happens, right? You can't win everything every time. Okay, so then next, you go in again and you say, all right, let me go another trade. Well, this time you were smarter. You entered with more support, more divergences, more better pattern, more coinciding variables, higher time frame. Maybe you're getting smarter. Maybe this time you've counted the cards a little bit and you're like, okay, maybe I have some kind of edge. I don't know. It's irrelevant, right? But anyways, so let's say this time your trade wins and you end up, you make a winning trade and you get that money back, right? So now you have a couple options here. You're down a little bit, but you're not down. You're back to even, right? If you take this off the table, you broke back even. But you're not here to break even. You came to play. You know what I mean? You logged into Binance to play. So let's go ahead and press our luck and we'll put on this bet 50. So we increased our position sizing from maybe 2% of portfolio to 4% of portfolio, whatever. So we increase the bet, we win again. Well, now we've gotten ourselves, 50 for winning. So what we start to do is we slowly start to, pull some back in, right? Take a little off the table. This is when we hit a target, we pull 30% back off. But we still have enough going that, we can make some gains here. So again, we hit another trade and we make some more gains. Well, what needs to happen at this point now is no matter what, we need to get back our money. Okay, so now we're back to our 300 is back in our pocket. It's in our wallet. And we have an extra 125 out here just hanging out. So let's be easy on it and let's just maybe keep this at 75 and let's pull a little bit of profit in. Okay, so here's a little bit of profit. So now what just happened? Not only do we have some profit, so let's trade this in. Let's ask the dealer to color us down. So let's take some green chip. Let's take some green chips and let's color ourselves down, right? So now we have 2 green chips. So what did this allow us to do? This gave us 2 more trades. If we lose this one, we can still take 2 more trades, and we're dealing with the Binance's money here, okay? Binance is giving us 2 more trades, and we still have a good position running. So, okay, what happens here? Okay, so we brought our stop up to even, and dealer puts us out at 20. Oh shit, dealer gets 20, we push. What does that mean? We stopped at break even. Our chips go back into our stack. We stopped out at break even. Now we're up profit up here. We're up 375, and we have 2 more chips in profit over here to make our next trade, okay? So we're gonna make another trade and then repeat. But never did we take this entire stack and just put it here, right? So what we wanted to do there is we needed to be mindful of this, right? We were looking for a proper 3-to-1 risk reward, which is just making sure we're not, making sure our trade is equitable, that we have an edge, okay? We put in a stop loss, you know, in case we pushed with the dealer, we stopped at break even. We had a pattern development, we got a little bit smarter, right? We waited for a harmonic, and we waited for it at multiple time frames, the daily and the 4-hour. We found divergence on both the RSI and the MACD. The harmonic hit a critical fib level, okay? We hit the 786 right where the harmonic completed its pattern, and the divergence was there on the oscillators, right? And what else? We were hopefully at a critical area of support resistance. So this is how we create an edge in the casino where maybe, I don't know, you really figured out how to count cards good, okay? Doesn't mean we win every trade. A perfect guy counting cards, the dealer could still hit 21 and take his money on one position, right? But as long as his whole stack wasn't out there, he could try again on the next hand and count again and maybe regain the edge back in his favor, as long as he still had chips to fight with. If you lose your whole stack, how are you supposed to fight and play the next hand, right? You can't. So I'm trying to just, I don't know, create some kind of example here that you guys can maybe relate. Maybe, you know, gambling's been around a lot longer than trading for some of you maybe. So, you know, maybe you just could relate that way better. And a lot of us do cross these, you know, a lot of people, like for myself, I used to play a lot of poker back in the day. I haven't in a long time, but I used to play a fair amount of poker, which that allowed you to experience, you know, swings in volatility and position sizing potentially, right? Losing a hand sometimes, you know, you have swings in chips stack sizing, or it also allows you to, you know, get a good run going and then get a feel for how it is to make a larger all-in bet. Not all, that's poker, it's an example, but say you just make a bet, you raise somebody, you know, you 4-bet them, 3-bet them. Well, you're now making a much heavier bet at a much, maybe you went from the 1-2 to the 2-5 table, and now you're 4-betting somebody. Well, you're swinging around with a lot more chips than you used to when you were just a small little duck when you first started, right? So you just have to, you know, slowly work your way up, but, you know, methodically, logically, reasonably, okay? No aping. And if you ape, make sure it's a methodical ape, okay? We can ape, but we don't FOMO. We FOMO when we find all of these variables, okay? This one we ape, but even when we ape, we're not over leveraging and not over positioning. You know, aping for us might be like this, okay? So maybe this was an ape, okay? Look at what we still have in the tank, okay? This is us aping. This is us protecting our position with enough equity that our, you know, stop and our liquidation price is far enough away that we can protect this and continue to fight, even if we may initially have jumped in a little early, okay? So let's go back to Bitcoin. So again, here we're just hanging out, looking for this choppiness. This is a pretty good place to trade. Some people would enter here, and this is what that damn wick was for those people that did it before the square up happened, because you know it just was a quick stop hunt on you. But there's people that like to play this back end of this trade, and in order to have 3 to 1, they would have had to have been right there, and they would have been safe so far. But yeah, there's traders that are playing that 100% right now. Back test, break, hook, and go. See this green we have drawn? That's our go. So we had our break, we have our hook. We're holding support, newly found support. What was previous resistance is now flipped to support, and we're gonna go. Okay. Let's move on to Ethereum. Okay. So on ETH, again, we've been watching this area. Again, if Bitcoin, same thing happened here, right? You had a break of the C, previous C, you hit the target, C and A, and you basically hit almost the 1272 up here. You back tested, you squared up, you now immediately got bought back up, which is what we would like to see. It means the bulls are in control. We're holding the level, holding the previous CS support, hold. And we're basically consolidating at support, and then we're gonna send. So this is our break, back test hook, and then our go into our area where I'm gonna at least get off 70% here. This is us hitting a hand of blackjack that we doubled down on an 11, and we hit, and we got the 21, and we're gonna pull most of that back, and we're gonna let 30% ride into the next hand and try and kind of, you know, compound some gains there with our blackjack hand. But as far as our trading goes, we're going to layer out 70% of our bag between 2200 and 2280 on Ethereum. Okay. What do we have here? Litecoin. Okay, Litecoin is going for that 1272 at 272. Remember, so we're at 250 right now, and I bet you this is painting. Yeah, it's just more bullish convergence. No divergence really yet. Actually, it is starting to. I take that back. I was looking at the bottom side for the bullish argument, but the bears are starting to get a little hungry here. Okay, so you have you have bearish divergence forming, but sometimes you'll get this to go up even one more little time, right? And then sell off again, and then that kind of turns into 3x bearish divergence. Okay, so we could see that, and what that would allow us to do is kind of just barely run up one more little time and hit this area, and it would just put in like almost a third little small island, hit this divergence here, and that would be like a red divergence there, and then that's where we could then see the sell-off on the backside, right? Back testing that area again. But right now, yeah, 1272 at 272. I think 272 is almost a lock here. In a world where you know, certainties don't exist, we're attempting to create a little bit of it, right? I don't know, it just seems like when shit like that happens, Ethereum did it. Okay, one time we had a 1618 at 1618 on Ethereum. The 1618 was at 1618. Guess what? We hit 1618 on Ethereum. Okay, and when we saw that, the price was like only at like 1400. We hadn't gotten to 16 yet, and it was kind of like here, we hadn't got into 272 yet. We were down here. So I was like, okay, look, ETH is 1420 or whatever. We have a 1618 at 1618. Sure enough, touches 1618. So that's just those hidden messages with the market makers and the composite operators just playing mind games with people. It's kind of sick sometimes. What are we looking at here? This is BNB on the 4 hour. Okay, so This guy, we're hoping to see some kind of rejection here at some point. Okay, this is starting to not look the prettiest here. So you got lower levels of positive momentum painting on the MACD. RSI is looking not the best. If the bulls want to continue, they need to break this RSI here, okay? They need to push the level up and through and make a higher high on the relative strength. If they fail to make a higher high on relative strength and this hangs out here and pivots, that's it. C'est la vie. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like what I see here on BNB. I think that this is kind of running its course to an extent. I just don't like these levels here. We're at a 1618 and we exceeded it into the optimal area. This is just not somewhere that I would be taking along. Makes sense too. We're not rejecting, but like we've kind of basically hit 500. We're at 504, just kind of hanging out right on 500. But you would think that 500, it's either going to hold as support or it's going to be the resistance, psychological round number 500, where yeah, price went up and above it just to kind of sweep it, but then traders can't hold it, and when price closes back below it, it's gonna, you know, flip and regard and act as some heavy overhead resistance. If that's the case and we can get this to hold, you know, likely we're gonna retrace back to like 350. So from 500 back down to 350, you know, that would be a move of like 25%, 30%, right? So that would suck, right? But it happens. It so happens so much. This is where people are FOMOing. This is the FOMO area. We don't FOMO here. We FOMO when we found the pattern that sent us to here, right? We FOMO at the bottom when we painted the harmonic and we painted the bullish divergence. That's when we FOMO. So I don't know, something like that. So we FOMO down here when you painted a low on price, okay, and then you proceeded to paint a higher low on price with you know, on the daily you had this divergence. I forgot I'm on 4 hour. So high time frame bullish, that convergence divergence on a higher low. This is kind of like an inverse head and shoulders back test, hook and go. Like you FOMO either here or you FOMO up here on this back test right here, okay? So you don't FOMO up here. This is not okay, all right? So again, you're basically hanging out right here at this optimal entry at this point. See how we created this divergence there that we were looking to create on? We needed to put in that slightly higher high, and we basically just did it today or last night or whatever. So these are those areas that I get really weary when we hit levels like this, okay? Not okay in my book, typically, on most occasions. Moving along, YFI. Okay, so YFI, pretend YFI was up here, okay? This is where BNB is at right now, okay? So if you saw this happen and you long this area down here and you ran this all the way up here, you mean to tell me that you're not going to take profit up here? So do you mean to tell me that other traders that long this breakout right here are not going to take profit up here and up here? You would be wrong, okay? So let's try to play smart and think logically, okay? 1618 harmonic, critical golden mean ratio, pattern, your targets are hitting. So, you know, at least even this is better to be in right now than BNB. At least your upside here is, at least you have some, you know what I mean? At least you can get up in this area. Where's your upside on BNB? Your upside on BNB looks like this, okay? That's your trade right now, people aping in, okay? But look at your downside on BNB. You see the difference, okay? At least over here, your downside is pretty minimal, right? Even here, if you want to bring it up and not be so dramatic. Still, that is poor risk to reward. What are you doing? This is 3 to 1. You see how you have one of these, you could put 3 of them up here. This is in your favor. You need more ceiling, less floor. Over here you have very little ceiling. The ceiling's right there. Your head, you're 9 feet tall in a 10-foot room, right? Even worse. And your floor is huge. You know, you trip and fall from 10 feet high in that room. You're just in the living room and you could die because you fell from above 6 feet. So OSHA rules, right? All right, so rules. Create them in a world where they don't exist. Dash is approaching target 1 areas here. Again, depending on Bitcoin, but it looks like Bitcoin's going to run up a little bit here. That shows Dash has some potential room in the tank as well to hit this first target at least, right? And this target simply came from, it was a measured move of the structure, right? So we just took that measured move up here, down here of this structure, and we pasted it up here and we created our target area. And we also use a fib level to probably line that up with. See, we're targeting the 786, which is the measured move and a critical fib. So we're trying to be methodical with our take profit levels, okay? Chain link. So look, here's your break hook and go on link. You've continued to put in higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. You've now exceeded and broken above the potential, not potential, it is a neckline. You're confirming it right now. So trader could have taken a trade in this back tested consolidation area here, and you could be targeting target 1, stop just below target 1. You're 2.5 to 1, so that's an equitable enough trade. Some traders will take 2 to 1. We prefer 3 to 1, but you're definitely getting that on target 2, which is the completion zone of the harmonic. You're getting 4.5 to 1 or 2.5 to 1. Those would be somebody's trade right here, entering chain link off the break hook and go. Again, we're looking to exceed a potential 1618 and go into an optimal entry area. If we get optimal entry, that's more the area where we would be looking to flip this position back from a take profit area to a potential short area where we're back testing, you know, either this level or even potentially the previous neckline, which was where the entry of that trade currently would have been if you were trading a break hook and go off of it, right? So something like that is what you'd be looking for on Chainlink. So it looks like you, from right now, you're at $33. Looks like you're in run up to like test 40 and 45. So decent little 25-30% on spot moving the tank if you could get some momentum. Maybe Bitcoin goes sideways a little bit here. Maybe it pumps a little. That helps all the alts, even sideways. You know, some money maybe pulls out of Bitcoin temporarily, pumps a little bit of these alts up a little bit, and then rotates its way back into Bitcoin for that next leg up. Ethereum Classic has hit targets 1 and 2. You have a target 3, 1414, and you have a target 4, 1618. Okay, that's all you got left if you can get it. Again, I would have been trailing stops at this point, you know, where at once your stop started at $9. Your stop was then, you know, carried up to the C at around $10. Once price break hook and go on the neckline, you brought it below that low, $13. Price is now above target 1. Target 1 was the previous X high anchor point over here, this previous area here. So stop again could be trailing up, $17. Price action is here. You need these areas to now be reclaimed, and maybe even the second one. And if you can get targets 2 and 3 to reclaim, maybe you pull up and you put your stop here. and eventually, you're aiming for as much of it as you can get, but ideally by the time you hit this target 3 area, you would probably have exited, or one of these wicks is going to get you. One of these guys will get you, and it happens. Don't worry about it. Look at all this gains, okay? So much gains, right? So you don't need to get every penny of it out. Just get a good amount and secure it, right? Funds say foo. This is Maker. So we've been watching Maker, hoping to get above this potential, basically this range midpoint. So Maker's above it right now. Let's zoom in on it, right? So last night we talked about this midpoint, and price is broken up above it, and you're kind of back testing it. So if you could hold this midpoint here at basically 2250, again, psychological kind of round number, 2250. So we need the price to hold this line. Hold the line, or even if you fail, just get back above it, right? Look at all this chop. It doesn't really matter if you chop it. Just get above it, and then you can see targets, right? But if you fail and you reject it too many times, you might see the range low again. So that's kind of what you got to watch out here on Maker. But if you can hold this, we should see the top of the range, which is around 2750, another round number. I remember when Maker just the other day, it was like $600, and even that was high. Like we hit $600 target, and we were just like, oh man. And now it's freaking $3,000. It's crazy. But anyways, I would imagine at this point that you see the range high, to be honest. So range high right here, 2700, 2750. Again, if we see the range low, the reason the range low is bad is because you would basically be creating this third touch point over here. And if you created this kind of 1, 2, 3, a lot of times you fail. You fail and you backtest as resistance and you sell off. So that's why you do not want to see that happen. You need to hold here at the midpoint so you could run the highs, potentially hold the highs and create a new range, okay? So the only way you're going to get up here though is you got to hold this midpoint. If you fail this midpoint and you touch that range low again and you backtest this range low as a resistance, I'm going to open a short, okay? So you're going to see other traders push this down even further here because they're going to pull a short on you, and that's not going to be good. We're going to come and try and sweep this previous level here, sweep it, right? So you do not want that. You would much rather see the range high get swept and end up at $4,000. So that's where you are, kind of in no man's land. This is not really a place to enter or a long or a short, unless you're going to do both and kind of hedge, but let one get stopped, let the other one run. Yeah, so you might lose 1R on the stop, but on the long you get 3R to 6R. It makes up for the 1R loss. You profit 2 to 5R, right? That's how we play this. Just create the mathematical edge into your favor. It really doesn't matter as long as you have an edge. We really don't like a 1-to-1 is not an edge, right? So even 2-to-1, you still have an edge. So I'll allow it. All right, same thing here on Reef. Reef needs to get above this midpoint, okay? You have a nice harmonic here and you've kicked up and you've hit target 1. Look at target 2 would be getting above the range midpoint. You would sweep target 2, you would hit the high, and then hopefully hold it. Maybe you even backtest the C a little bit, right? And maybe this comes down to like here. So what? You still got to get back above that level, and you got to hold that range in order to look for the highs, okay? And the highs would be up here squaring up basically 5 cents on Reef. Currently you're at 4 cents, 4 cents. You need to get to 5 cents, 5.5 cents. Currently, because of this price action is not really defined a clear support yet, and you're below the C, I would still kind of I would still kind of ideally have this stop probably still maybe below the D at your entry, maybe break even, put it to break even, maybe you entered right there or something. But this could still make some kind of back test, you know what I mean? You could still go X, A, B, C, D and have some kind of back test. So you got to be careful here having a stop too tight on reef, because if your stop is up here, for example, that little harmonic would have got you, right? So watch out. Zcash. Okay, Zcash approaching golden mean ratio. Basically hit this shit. Okay, so let's see where we hit. So we're gonna fib from the X high to the previous A discernible swing low, and we have not hit the 1618 yet. Let's see if we hit anything on this tighter fib. We'd also fib the second leg of the harmonic here, and we have hit almost the 1272 or the 2618 of the low. See this tighter harmonic here? There is a, let me erase this and this and this and do it again, and you'll see that there's a 2618 right there. See that? So we hit that initially, so that was from this lower structure. Okay, so now that you hit the lower structure, makes sense, you get a pullback, and now you look for the higher structure target, which would be the next leg up, 1618, which would put us, it would give us a PCZ here, completion zone target right there. But then we're saying, okay, let's hit the pattern completion zone target 1618, but then let's sell off a little bit and go up again and hit the optimal entry. So if we hit the optimal entry, that would be even higher than the 1618. This is currently where BNB is at. BNB has hit the 1618 and it's hit the optimal entry. BNB is hanging out right here. Okay, so then we would proceed. If we can get that, we would ideally be looking to short a completion zone of a bearish butterfly, bearish crab type of harmonic. And if you got this type of area here for short anywhere in this entry, you would be targeting this back test to those previous X high, and ideally be looking for 3 to 1. You'd have a stop around above 265, and you'd be targeting basically a $200 back test on Zcash Ola. Okay, AVAX here. This sucker just hanging out. Again, this is more of a spot play, I had said last time we streamed. But so far, I mean, you're just holding this trend line. Eventually, you'd like to see some, a nice bullish engulfing candle here, and just sweep this all the way up and just reclaim those previous highs. You know what I mean? You'd like to see that at some point get hit on whatever this is. AVAX. Okay, let's see if we can get up here, maybe sweep those highs and then back test those highs as support. Get up there, back test it, hold it, and then you could run to see the measured move. If you could then hold the measured move, you'd look to do the same thing, hold the measured move, look for target 2, which would be up in that area. Keep back testing these targets, moving stops, and yeah, we'd be looking for target 1 though. First we got to get to $45. Current price $31.50. We're looking for $45 on AVAX. That is a solid move in itself. Okay, in itself, 42%. Okay, no joke there. Band has hit the take profit target 1. That's what we're looking for on whatever that was we just looked at. Chopping around up here, we've hit it once, hit it twice, hit it a third time. Usually this third time is going to be it. We're probably going to break it and then hold this level. Okay, so we've now hit this take profit target 1. If we can get above it, we'd be looking for $23. So again, some kind of, maybe if you can get above it and you're targeting that next level, somebody could look to take a trade like this to play this next way up, or you're just continuing to, you know, we entered on this double bottom, you're just continuing to bring your stop up, right? And as you reclaim that level, you bring your stop up to here, reclaim this level. As you're aiming to the next level, you bring your stop up to the previous measured move target as you're looking to take profit up here, okay? So you're just playing the trailing stop loss game. If anything, just cancel it, retype it in, cancel it, retype it in, okay? Takes 2 seconds. All right, AAVE here. This looks like it's holding on a higher low here. So again, somebody could have pulled a trade here on this higher low kind of position, where once you put in that higher low and you hold it, stop below the previous low, targeting the highs, something like this, right? 3.5 to 1 trade. That's something somebody could do. Or if anything, you know, they wait and they take the trade here and they bring a stop up 3 and a 1 like that, okay? So it depends. Those are two type of different traders, right? There's this guy that kind of, he's a little more keen to price action, and then there's this conservative trader that waits for more of a confirmation back test, right? You could be a little bit of mixture of both and just kind of see what works for you. Again, if you're trading these things on spot, like we talked about at the beginning of the stream, or low leverage like you're gonna do for the next couple of weeks, you shouldn't have had any trouble on pretty much any of these alt trade setups that we've posted in here over the past 3 weeks, okay? The only people that have been having trouble stressing out are the over leveraged, and you were in winning trades and you still have stress. You see how that's a problem? So mend the fences, right? What is this? Cosmos, ATOM. Again, we're approaching critical resistance level here, right? So critical overhead resistance. We must break and hold this. So price needs to get above this, like we almost did once here, but we failed, right? We sold off, and now we've rallied again. And now if we could just get up here, we just need to hold this level, okay? And if we do, we're gonna get the target, $27. We must hold and flip $22. SR flip, support resistance flip. If you flip that level, your stop loss would now come up here, okay, to 1850 on Cosmos. Once we create this support flip up here of 22, and then you go ahead and create it again at 27, that's when your stop would then move up again to the neckline, okay? So just level at a time, okay? As we reclaim, we adjust. As we reclaim, we adjust. We need to consistently be waiting for more data so we can continually make more improved decisions. And if we have to adjust targets, it happens, okay? You just have to be, oh shit, look at this. Okay, so we tweeted the Dogi, so we're about to hit target 1 on Dog. Phone's about to text and it's about to say, bruh, you just got paid. So stop loss at this point on the dog would have started at the bottom. We would have entered probably, I think if you go back to the tweet, we entered in this level here. Maybe we even entered, actually, it might have even been the break hook and go guy, right? We just talked about that. There's the more keen kind of guy that's just ready. He's on the ball of his feet on everything. But there's a lot of assets out there, not always following the dog so clearly. But we took this one, that second guy, right? The confirmation guy. I believe we took this. We thought this was that fake out. He tried once. This was the fail, sell off. You do it again. This is that rule 3. So 1, 2. Here, technically, it's all in one. It just happened twice here, okay? But we still got it nonetheless, okay? And continued a vertical trend line the entire way up. So even if you would have entered down at the, higher low here, at this higher low, around 50 cents, and it was a psychological support resistance level, 50 cents, right? We flipped 50, held 50 as support. So you're running this vertical trend line is increasing in just the vertical rise of the trend line here, getting parabolic. And as soon as we really held this neckline, look how defined this neckline, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, held it, break hook and go, send. Okay, so now if your target, if you entered any of these areas, say you entered here, if we entered here, I gotta look back, our stop is down here. Now that we've reclaimed this area, the stop is now at break even. Does that make sense? So at this point, you should be in a no lose, only win trade on the dog, where your stop and your position, you're targeting like this for target 1, and your stop loss basically looks like this. You're doing a 10-to-1 type of trade. Let me adjust the top side. You're doing a 10-to-1 trade still, nonetheless. Let me make yourself another one, and then target 2 is going to be nasty. This is how I sleep at night. Okay, so 60% on a 17.5 to 1 R. Okay, if you lose the stop on this, whatever. Are you gonna? Probably not. You're probably gonna hit target 1, and you could take some off the table. Take off 70%. Feel comfortable. Pull off 70. Pull off 70 there in this area here. Layer off. It'll sell off a little bit, it'll reclaim it again, and then you could go up and you could take off the other 30. You know what I mean? Just, you'll feel good about yourself locking in 70 like that on the dog. And to top that off, this doggy hitting this target, that's 33.5%. Okay, so even if you just 2x'd it, like I talked about in the beginning of the stream, still 66% trade locked in profit for a gain of 9R. Okay, 9R. Bitcoin Cash, we have a request in the chat for BCH. Okay, so here on BCH we alerted 4-hour hidden bullish divergence. There was an alert on BCH. It was also the back test of the break hook and go, put in a hidden bullish divergence. That was full send. We're approaching target 1, selling off just a little bit, more back testing the square up as support now. Just to kind of reset low time frame oscillators. In reality, you would imagine this runs up, hits 725. We eventually hold this and we go to 870. Okay, so that's what we're looking for on BCH, is ultimately 275. At 275 again, you can pull some off the table, right? Take some profit. This is this previous area that was once resistance. You're going to hit it again, hopefully SR flip it. If that's the case, you could run another bag up to the 870 area. Again, just keep in mind you're playing with BCH here. This, take your profits, please. Okay, so X, A, B, higher low C, 1272. 1272 is 870. Take some profit. Butterfly. Okay, gonna hit a butterfly. Right now, we entered the trade setup down here when BCH was $615 at a minimum. I know that. Your stop should now be here below the previous neckline. Okay, so again, your stop at this point in time is basically at break even, where even if you entered up here, your stop is basically break even. Your first target is approaching right here. Let's bring this over so you can see how you're in profit there. First target is like this. Okay, so let me clean this up, maybe you could see things a little better. First target looks like that. That'll be target 1. Target 1 will get hit. You'll have a little bit of small pullback, nothing to write home about, and then target 2 will eventually be 7.5 to 1 R. Stop, basically break even. And again, once you get and approach this level and hold that, as you start running up in prices here, this stop, that is currently at basically break even, you're going to put it into profit now. So even if you get stopped, you're still going to make, you'll still make 13 and 14%, right, on a stop out. So that's the way we like to sit in trades. We either lose very little, we stop out in profit, or we run and hit targets. Okay, those are our options for trades. All right. Omisa Go, looks like something has been hit here. Let me take you to the daily real quick. It seems like we were doing something on here at one point in time. Oh yeah, figured. Okay, so what happened here, we had again similar structure where, sorry, we have measured moves of a structure. Okay, so let's bring this in and let's see what happened here. Okay, so first thing is we took a measured move, and this one, we took a measured move. It seems like we took it, let me just measure it again. We'll paste it and see where it came from. So we took this measured move here, and it came from the lows where traders settled up down here. With the lowest point where they closed, right? That's where we took our measured move, we pasted it, we hit the target, right? So conservative measured move, target 1 hit. Okay, so let's get rid of target 1. What then happened? You back tested that target 1 area, okay, as support, SR flip. Okay, so now that you're doing that, it looks like you painted a lower time frame harmonic. Let's see where you had an X high here at $8 XA. Partial retrace 618, partial decline 786, and we're looking for the 1618. You have your 1618, which was your target area, and then you also had your optimal entry above it, and now you're proceeding to sell off. Okay, so this target was the highs have been swept. C'est la vie. Rolling over at the target, at the 1618. Selling off, bro. That's why we take profit. No longs. OMG longs are off the table till further notice. QTUM request in the chat. Cute 'em. Let's see what happened here on cute 'em. We didn't paint anything here for a while. Okay, kind of similar thing on Omisa Go. The reason these weren't probably in the alts setup as some of the other ones were is because these ones weren't as defined in their structure. Okay, so again, there's so many assets. Why are we going with the ones that are not as clearly defined when we have ones that are very clearly defined, right? Like the dog. The dog had a very defined structure. I mean, this structure wasn't bad here. So again, if we took this Bukowski double bottom, higher low, kind of inverse head and shoulders, we paint the neckline, we copy that, we paste that, we take the measured move was hit, right? Obviously destroyed. But look, measured move was hit and then regarded and back tested as your SR flip, okay, which was important. It was almost the SR flip from between the measured move and the previous all-time high, where you basically had this area here that you now regarded as support, right? And now you gave you steam for another run, right? And again, you probably exceeded a potential 1618 on a low time frame butterfly crab here. 1618 got destroyed on this one, okay? Gross. But if you were using it at least for your long, you could have hit it, right? Look where it hit it and then sold off, but then it just said, no, I'm not done. This thing just went absolutely apeshit parabolic here. Okay, that's why there's much more data. Let's see. Okay, so from the previous high, I bet you this is a 1618 or 618, excuse me. Yep, check it out, boys. Imagine that. Imagine it's like I knew it was gonna happen, right? 618 golden mean ratio on the high time frame structure, and no more. Okay, c'est la vie. Again, longs on QDOM are off the table till further notice, in my opinion. No, I'm not taking a long on this shit. Rolling over. Let's reset. Let's at least paint some hidden bull. Let's reset though, okay? We need to take a breather here. Seems like that's happening on other things here. What is this? The Tezos XTZ. Okay, so look, we haven't looked at this in a while. Check this out. All right, so we painted basically a Gartley here, a bat and a Gartley again, and we just absolutely sent it. So check it out. Target 1 on this would have been the C high. Target 1 was hit and then back tested as support. Target 2 would have been the A. Target 2 was hit and now back tested as support. Target 3 is going to be the 1618 golden mean ratio from the A high to the D low. Target 3 has been hit. Again, Tezos, longs are off the table till further notice. Take profit targets have been hit. Lock in them gains. Fun Seifu. Neo, another one. Banger. Go back on Twitter. We alerted Neo right here. It's $13. Neo's $63 right now, people. Look at this buy here. Come on, bruh. We haven't looked at this in a while. Looks like it. Looks like a SFP swing high failure. We have a high, higher high, lower high on a higher time frame, probably on a 3-day. It looks like that. I bet you have a nice swing failure pattern, swing high failure. This just destroyed everything. I bet it's at a 2618, 3618. I told you. So 3618 and no more on the low time frame structure. Let's look back on the high time frame structure again, and I bet you that's gonna align with some sort of something. Yes, can you go higher? Sure, but it's gonna be a while, right? You don't ape in right now. I'll find you a better entry if you want on this, but yes, do you have more to run on the high time frame? Sure. I'm not gonna say you don't, right? See the difference where Neo is not even hit the golden zone, whereas whatever that last one was right here. Okay, that's the difference. This potentially, so let this basically, let it reset, let it come back down here and test this previous level, previous area here that was once resistant. Let it flip it as support and hold, and then we'll run up. We'll get into the 382, hit Dow's theory 50% retrace, and eventually hit the 618. So you do have room in the tank for 125 on Neo, but I would advise a small pullback from 65 into the $50 area, and let's reload at 50. Look for hidden bullish divergence and reload at 50. Run 50 to 1.25. Okay, but that's down the road. Remind me of it in like 3 or 4 days. Bitcoin, circle back. Let's go back to the 240 BTC, see what we got going on. Seems like you're still just hanging out right where we left you from the beginning of the stream, just chopping sideways right here, but you're holding really nice. I like the way this is holding up, really solid. Okay, so basically I'm just cleaning this up and then I'm gonna zoom it in for you. One more right there. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So basically what's really nice is the way you're holding this level here. Okay, so that level at 59.68, basically 59.7 is holding really nice. Okay, so we love to see that. If we're looking for targets again in the 6150 to 30 to 63k range on Bitcoin. ETH is just again in that chop zone, which is between those two previous targets, right? The C high and the A high kind of area, 886 and previous high. That's just, you're just consolidating in there, right? Choppy. Again, can we see a harmonic here? Sure. Would it be the end of the world? No. X, A, B, C, we sell off a little bit, maybe we do this, and all we do is we reset again. Okay, once we sell off, we find a way to reset. That gives you a way to kind of launch, right? You on this reset of this D, if you get it, maybe you just back test this area again officially. Maybe you do this, right? So if you get that 786 right there, we would not be out of the realm of possibilities here. We would ideally be looking from X to D here to paint a hidden bullish divergence on the 4 hour at the D, at the previous kind of at this square up area of this previous engulfing candle. Backtest it, square it up, run the highs. Okay, yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the stream. it looks like everything's basically kind of selling off here. So all right, guys, that's all for today. Let's circle back again in the chat and kind of go from there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace out.